Hey, what's up, everyone? Michael Slate here, bringing you episode number 2 of The Struggle is Really, Really Real podcast. We are here at EMP Studios, Cesare, Orlando, with our behind-the-scenes microphone. And today we're going to sit down with Mark from Frenchie Creative Design and chat about what it's been like for him to work his way into owning his own business, what his goals and ambitions are for the future, and what kind of dogs he loves to have lick his face. Thanks for tuning in. Let's rock. All right. Welcome to the Really, Really Real, The Struggle is Really, Really Real podcast. I'm here today with Mark from Frenchie Design.
So Michael, pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming on the show. Appreciate it. You are our second guest. We had Cesare with EMP, Eclectric Mobile Productions.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not hard to say.
It's only a made up word.
It's even easier.
Why would anybody know how to say it?
Look up when you're trying to tag.
Yeah.
Eclectic.
It's funny when you forget a C or something and then all of a sudden you're like, nope, I don't know where
right.
you are.
Yeah,
that's why I changed it. It's now just emp.studios. It's a much easier handle.
So it's easier to tag you.
Yeah.
All right, I like it. We need to work together more so I know that.
Okay.
Thank you for coming on the show today. I'm super excited. I'm glad that you're willing to branch into this with us. Cesare trailblazed with me last week and kind of diced up how he started his business from ground up, his time here in the desert, his attempts to leave the desert, which most locals do. So I'm glad you're here today.
Yeah, thank you. It's very exciting.
Cool. So we worked together. You worked on my wife's website, which was amazing.
Love that
Incredible.
website.
Took it. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's so good.
Yeah. And then you've worked with me on my social media and helping me have a stronger, more consistent presence. Do you want to dive into a little bit about Frenchie? Is it Frenchie Design?
It is.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little confusing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the whole idea of that name, basically, obviously being from Quebec, there's that French part that comes into it, and then also have that little Frenchie bulldog.
Right.
So obviously that just ties those things together. The frog part is, well, Quebecers, we say what all the time. And so what is quoi. So we sound like frogs, basically, because we just go like quoi, 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 quoi.
Quoi?
Yeah, so you got it. So Frog Frenchie, and best thing is when I needed to register a company name, it wasn't taken for obvious reasons.
So you can find that handle everywhere.
Well, when I told Cesare a few months ago your company name, he was like, I think that's a slur. He's like, I don't think you can say that. I was like, what? You can't say frog and Frenchie in the same sentence? Like,
it's pretty safe. I come from
back in the day, for a long time, saying somebody from France, if you referred to them as a frog, it wasn't the nicest things. It was a racial slur, if you will. But I mean, most people that I know that are French, like, they own it.
oh, okay.
Like, yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
Is that true?
I can live by it.
Okay. All
No
right.
worries.
Okay. All right. I don't know if we believe this guy. So talk to me about where the business concept came from and how you picked that label to house it under.
Well, that's a fun question. I mean, like I told you, I've been doing graphic design and marketing for nearly 10 years now.
Okay.
So we had different types of clients all over the world. Really what happened to me and my wife was we're traveling and we've been all over a little bit. And we came in the desert to see some of our friends who said, the desert's amazing. You guys must see this. It's outstanding. And I was like, desert, come on.
Right. You're like, what do you do there?
Yeah, it's just sand and cactus. So what do you do with that? And so I flew in. It was bright daytime. And it was just stunning. Like the mountains.
Did you fly into Palm Springs?
Directly, yeah.
Nice.
It was just gorgeous. It was like, whoa, that's not a desert. What were you talking about?
Right.
And so just start hanging out in the desert a little bit, getting to know people.
How long ago was this?
This was probably 4 years ago.
Okay, nice.
And so it took us probably a few months, a year to make up our mind and say, well, this is where we want to live now. And so we just dove in, both feet in, and just so excited since then. We're just so happy about our move.
Were you doing graphic design before and you transitioned and you just popped open the business here, or?
No, we were doing graphic design back in my young days.
Okay.
Back all the way in Quebec, with Montreal and Quebec City. We had our company with my wife. We're always doing that.
Oh, nice.
My wife has been doing that for her life. Basically, she studied in the south of France. She specialized in really high-end marketing. Well, I mean, graphic design, high-end stuff. So for us, I was just the guy who took the marketing over because I studied in business school doing marketing. And so we're just a perfect team. I mean,
when I come into the office, she always has her head down. She only kind of looks up to greet you very politely and to pull your dog back a little bit into the office, and so you can do your thing. And but you guys are super diligent workers. Like I never worry about reaching out too late because you're always working long hours into the night. You have a location here in Palm Springs, right?
Yes.
Okay.
A famous little studio. So we just renovated this whole thing. It was a fun project. It took us a couple of months. We took something that was not in a great shape, but just the location. It's 18 feet ceiling, just windows all over. It's gorgeous view of the mountains. I know it's just a stunning. It just cranks up the creativity. Like
I would imagine. I went to your grand opening, which is amazing, and then we started working together. And when I go to your space, I'm always like, "Hey, when are you moving out of this spot anytime soon?" It's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet.
Talk numbers. I mean,
sublease. That's good. It's good. Like I can move this back home. So. Yeah. Is it good to have it out of your house to not be someone who works from home, to have an office to head to?
I think that's the best advice I can give to anyone who's a freelancer in any way. It's just having that little space where you kind of hang your jacket off at the end of the shift and say, that's it for me today.
Right.
And it's not possible 100% of the time. You know, there's always clients reaching out late at night. There's always a little something that can pop up. But at least if you put your mindset to, let's say 95% of the time, my job is done for today. This is my home space and this is my office space.
Right.
Because the main issue is, as you know, your computer's already logged in. You have your phone ringing. There's always something going on. Right. And so you wake up on Saturday morning and you're like, I got to take care of this thing, when you could actually be taking care of yourself. And taking care of your family. And so kind of segregating those two worlds actually makes you more efficient, because when you get to work, you're excited about it. Right. Because you had the time to rest over the weekend, or whatever the weekend is, or even if it's just one day on the Wednesday that you take off, at least you're not in the work mindset and you come back refreshed. And this is something really important. I mean, for creative people in our industry, we always need to be a cutting edge and looking at new things. So even if we're not running around, our brain is just like the hamster spinning the wheel, right? So,
and you have to have that space, I've found, because I've worked long hours into the night in my business in real estate, and oftentimes it's where you can make things worse if you don't carve out that space for you. So I've really learned to go home and put the phone down from 6 to 8:30. And I look at it at 8:30 and I'm too tired to deal with whatever's there. So I'll get back to this in the morning, and then you're refreshed and just go at it first thing in the morning. Correct. So I like that.
Yeah, nice. It's really just turning a page and getting excited about the next chapter.
Yeah, because you do wake up refreshed, and you do have to carve out that space. And vice versa. You can't just sit at home with the family and just never work, because then that starts to deteriorate. So
yeah, you have to find a balance. That's the hardest thing. There's so many books, so many shows about that. It's literally impossible to find the perfect balance for anyone. Right. And so it's just an ongoing battle with yourself and with your spouse or husband or your partner in life, where you need to find out the best way for the both of you to.
Well, you're really just swinging from one extreme to the other.
Correct.
You know, you're kind of like pushing in one direction. If you're working on a project, you're swinging in that direction. If you're taking a break or a vacation, you don't bring all your work with you. Bring a little bit of it. You touch it. You keep it moving,
and you don't tell her about it, because you do it in the bathroom secretly.
Are you working? No.
I was setting a reservation for later tonight.
Right? That's brilliant. Cesare, you're a G. When was the last time you had a vacation?
Oh my gosh.
Because you guys have been working insanely hard this year.
Yes, and I think this is normal. This is something that we've signed up for. I mean, this is the past couple of years of our life. It's a project that we've built together. Right. Meaning that we knew what we were getting into. And obviously it's not easy to change countries and find new clients, find new leads, and nurture those leads and those clients and making a profit out of it. You know, there's so many different things. Even if you think Canada is so similar to the States. Right. You know, just there's so many things that you got to learn and make things different. Right. And so last vacation, I would say it's a good couple of years ago. I'd say probably last time was right before we came to California. We just did a big trip going from LA, driving the Highway 1, going all the way to San Francisco, going to the vineyards, just discovering California before moving here, saying, do we like this or not? Right. And so we kind of hit all those target and saying, wow, that's perfect. I
Yeah.
mean, there's so many opportunities. Everything you want to do, you can do it. And that's coming back to Palm Springs. This is like paradise because if you like hiking, if you want to do whatever you want to do, it's just a short drive away.
Right.
And if you feel like you need to see a city and have all those amazing cities amenities, well, it's just a short drive again. So you can just make
Exactly.
a day trip or sleep there and come back the following day. I mean, San Francisco is such a, I'm sorry, San Diego, such
Right.
a fun city, easy drive to get there. LA is so much more stuff to do, but obviously drive is a little more hectic.
Right.
But you sign up for this, you know.
Yeah, and then you've got the toll roads that can zip you out to Laguna Beach in an hour and a half, drop
There you go.
down. It's awesome. I always say we're 2 hours from everything. And
Correct.
you know, growing up in Texas, we were 5 hours from everything. So it was arduous. So this 2 hours, we just blink. I look at my kids and I'm like, you've got it so easy. No torture. So what was your favorite thing if you toured, you came and took a road trip essentially to San Francisco. Why did you come back to the desert? Because you're relatively young, and there's a stigma out there that there aren't young people out there that are movers and shakers in the desert. It's mostly just people that are in retirement mode or whatever that may
Yeah.
be. Obviously, you're dispelling that myth right now with your presence here. How did you land on Palm Springs in the desert?
Yeah, I mean, just cruising a little bit around the desert and just seeing all this architecture, this artsy, lovely, everything it's all about the details all over
Right.
the place.
Right.
And, you know, I had this mindset coming in saying, hey, it's a retirement location where people are just going there. My snowbirds from Canada are coming there
Right.
during the wintertime, and
Right.
that's about it, right? And being part of this area, you know, meeting new people and noticing that it has changed quite dramatically. I mean, nowadays it's people of all ages, of all types of
Right.
professions, and if you want to build a career here, it's possible. It's all about the time you want to put in, but also there's so many stuff to do. It's a wonderful area. So the stigma, I don't think holds no more. I think that we, as a community, are changing it
Amen.
slowly. So
Yeah, that's the truth. I like that. And do you live in your office is in Palm Springs proper? Where did you choose to hang your hat, and why? Where are you guys living?
So at the moment we are in Rancho Mirage.
Okay, perfect.
Rancho is really central. We can go on either toward La Quinta or coming back toward Palm Springs. We're surrounded by golf courses. I love golf.
Nice.
So that's one of my passions.
Do you play
here.
golf?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course. Yeah, mini putt. I'm super good at that.
Really?
Nah.
Mini putt.
Just
I'm
kidding.
good at best ball, which means we always end up playing with the other guy's ball.
Best ball's a good one.
Right. Best ball's classic.
You just bring the
I
beer
like it.
over.
Yeah, that's
fine.
pretty much it. I'm like, nice one, let's go.
Best teammate ever.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna drop right here. Is that cool? We're just gonna drop one.
Yeah.
Tee off next to you. That's good.
Yeah. I play with very mellow people.
So, I mean, Palm Springs, architecturally speaking, really speaks to me.
Okay.
At this time, I'm more looking in the market to find something that really suits me.
Okay.
Found something really ridiculously priced, something really amazing to me. So it really works out for me at the moment.
Okay.
I'm
Nice.
not saying that Rancho Mirage is less good or better than Palm Springs or Palm
Right.
Springs better. I just mean being in the area, it's just a short drive to anything. So
Right.
to me, it doesn't mind.
No,
I
it's
don't mind.
smart. What does it take you, like 20 minutes to get to the office in summer months, and then at about
Summer
an
month is
hour?
more like 10 minutes.
Okay,
and
okay,
more
alright.
closer to half an hour, maybe over during the winter time.
Okay, that's not too bad. You must be working a few shortcuts. You don't just take the 111 all the way there, do you? No, he's like no. He's like no. That is a crawl. That's a
Absolutely my
crawl
mistakes.
during season, but it's all right. Yeah, we make do. So yeah, you know when it's season, when you start showing up everywhere 10 minutes late, and you're like, sorry, I was in traffic, which it was so weird to say, but it just the roads get saturated. You're like, wait a second. Where did all these people come from all of a sudden? Like,
And why is everybody just not in a rush?
yeah, exactly.
That's expected in like the city. That's totally expected. Like
Right.
you set a time for somebody to show up and they'll show up 10, 15 minutes late and it doesn't even matter. You're just like, yeah, no, cool.
Yeah, you show up on time.
You
you're
showed
like,
up
I
within
didn't
the like
expect
the
you to be here
window,
already, right? Yeah, that's true. So you've been in the desert 3-4 years, right? And your business, you've been in that location 1 year, but you've had it on the back end without the storefront for
Correct.
over 3 or 4 years, right?
Well,
Or
well, technically, we were working with our Canadian company,
Okay.
which was a different scenario. The good thing about what we do is we can work remotely from anywhere.
okay,
Once we were in the Galapagos, and then we were working with our computers from there.
Right.
And just answering some
And you're
emails
like,
in the morning,
we're never going home.
and then going to see the giant turtles and go
Right.
swim in the ocean, which was absolutely stunning. But we realized at that point we can literally be anywhere we want as long as there's Wi-Fi somehow. I have to be honest, Wi-Fi is not the fastest there. If we complain
Okay.
here over there, it's quite dramatic. You don't want to upload a huge file doing that.
Right.
But it's just covering all the bases. It's easily doable.
You can get an
from anywhere.
email out. You're like, it's sent. Whew, we can go.
And you look at
Yeah.
the little thing turning,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, come on, you
Yeah.
can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. I believe in you, man.
I believe you. Yeah. Try deleting our logo at the bottom and see if it goes through. I like that. Yeah. So what have you done before graphic design and marketing?
Yeah, so always been doing marketing.
Okay.
But I had a career in hospitality. Worked in
Okay.
worked for Fairmont Hotels back in Canada. So, as you know, it's a 5-star type of hotels. It's highly luxurious. They
How old
have
were you when you were working there? Because you're pretty young looking, so.
a whole soul, man.
Yeah.
I've been around. I've started working there. I think I was probably 8-9 years ago. It's so many fingers ago, so I'm just
20?
like. No, it's probably
Because you had a lot of responsibility at that.
10 years ago,
at
yeah.
that.
So I started just basic job like a waiter,
Right.
and then I just start going one ladder at a time, doing managers, supervisor, then manager for a particular restaurant, then manager of all the restaurants, then kind of a food and beverage guy, and then so I did all those things. It was crazy hours. I mean, this is 7 days a week, 16 hours a day. There's always something popping up. You're always required to do something because it's always guests first. Whatever
You're always
happens,
preparing for the morning or the lunch shift or whatever's happening in the evening or any form of entertainment, and then it's time to go again, right?
yeah. So there's never a break really, and it's really tiresome. It's highly rewarding though because you get to see clients being happy, make a difference for them. You
Right.
know, because these people are spending a lot of money,
Right.
but it's all about celebration. So they do that for wedding or for their anniversary or for just vacation, and so for them they expect the best because they
Everything's
spend top
crucial.
dollars.
Yeah.
But every little thing that you go beyond what they expect, they are so recognizant of it. They just love you so much for doing so,
Right.
and so it feels great doing those little things. And even being in a managerial position where you just kind of orchestrate that in the back, and you put your best employees and in the front, getting all those
Right.
accolades, and
Right.
you see them coming back and being
Beaming.
just
Yeah.
beaming, being happy because they feel like they made a difference.
Right.
And so it's a different feel, definitely. It's really exciting to do that. But this is something I really get working with clients on a daily basis. You know,
Right.
trying to make their life a little better, a little
Yeah.
easier.
Seeing the
just-
light come on, connecting them with their brand.
Correct.
Yeah.
And sometimes, it can be overwhelming when you see all the work that you need to do for your home brand and having someone taking it, breaking it down to you and say, hey, listen, what you had as a problem, here's all the solution and there's the answer and here's the path that we're going to follow together to make you successful out there.
Right.
And you can see people just go like, oh,
Yeah.
thank you. I've been challenging that in my mind for weeks, for months now, and it sounds so simple.
Right. Because they're
And-
spinning so many plates, and you just be like, I'll take that one.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about bringing happiness to people to some
Right.
extent. So it's whatever work
Still,
you do in
and you're
life.
still providing the service.
Correct.
And like Mother Teresa says, there is no higher calling than being of service.
Yeah.
And that's why I've always appreciated the service industry and that very feeling right there that you're talking about. It just helps bring it on home. So it's not all about the income, it's about the connection, it's about
Correct.
the people. So
Correct.
I like
The
that.
income is a nice bonus, but
Yeah.
really what you do is really make people happy. And when you do something good, and I know you feel it as well, when you do something good with your clients and they're happy, well, you're even happier.
Yeah.
Because you did good.
It makes sense. It's a job well done. That's what I always tell my clients. I'm like, I'm only looking for a job well done here.
Yeah.
Like that's when we're done, is when it's a job well done. And it's like, good job. And that's what you want to hear, because that's the win. That means that you get to stay in motion. That's a force
Correct.
that keeps you moving. Yeah. So you worked yourself in a position where you got more and more and more out of the hotel in that you were working at, Fremont. What was
Fairmont.
it? Fairmont.
Yeah.
But you found yourself at 16 hours a day,
Yeah.
and it's not your business,
Correct.
and you're probably not making hourly anymore or tips.
Oh no,
so.
no, it's really far from that. And I can tell you, some busters were making much more money than I did.
You're like, they're
and-
smoking cigarettes in the back. They're like, you get that plate.
But I had that was kind of my career plan for a while. You know,
Right.
the best thing about those corporate environment is they line up in front of you the opportunities, and it makes it easier for you to kind of think and say, hey, these are the steps I can follow. So yeah, I'm here. I want to be there.
Right.
That's what I'm aiming for. And so working toward that goal is kind of clear, and you clear that map, and talking with the people in HR and the people above you, helping you building your own career. So it's
Right.
exciting, you know.
Right.
The downside of being in those corporate environment is everything has to be fixed and settled in cement, and you have to go through so many layers of approval before getting something done.
It loses
That's
heart sometimes.
Sometimes the
Yeah.
projects just lose their heat.
Right.
And so I was the kind of guy who would go with crazy stuff and booking something crazy to bring some more revenue, or bring something crazy to really differentiate ourselves. Because this,
Right.
once again, this is what I like to do.
Right.
Like I would go the extra mile to do those things. But then I would go to my manager, but since it was not part of his own responsibilities, that was not talked before, he didn't have the interest in it.
Right.
And it's
Right.
like, well,
He's
yeah,
"Nah,
if
why
you want to do
rocking the
this, do
boat?"
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, come on, man, I just need a little more excitement here. I got
Right.
something great. Let's do that.
Right.
Like, well, it's all right. Okay, if you want to, let's do that. How much is it going to cost? Well, on my proposal, it's there. It's right here. That's the bottom line right here. We're making revenues with this. Oh, yeah, I'll run through the layers of the corporate people, and then I'll come back to you, and which maybe never
Right.
happened, or whatever. I work with great people. I don't mean to say that they weren't good to me.
No, I
or-
gotcha.
But just,
Is
it's
that-
upsetting a little bit.
Is that what kind of pushed you to go off on your own? Because obviously you work for yourself now. There is
Yeah.
no more boss. There is no corporate person
Yeah,
that you have
and-
to run things.
And
through.
I'm working for the toughest boss I've ever worked for, and it's myself.
Right.
Just the hardest person on me. And
Yeah.
But it's just, you know, I have books filled with ideas and project and crazy stuff. I'm just putting them in there saying, hey, when I get a minute, I'll do this.
Right.
And I just keep them because that minute never comes, but
Right.
it will come at one
Yeah.
point.
One day.
One day.
I
That
think we all
minute
have
will
those
arrive.
little notebooks, right?
Right.
But you know, it's just more exciting and fulfilling in that sense. I've always been working for myself. Like I said, I've been doing that for 10 years, working with different clients, different industries, and always it was my secondary job, you know, because
Right.
the hotel business was not enough.
Right.
I needed something more fulfilling, something I could just own my skills with all those things
And go all in.
Correct. And so yeah, so that's what happened with that.
So in suit with the show's title, The Struggle is Really, Really, Really Real. At what point in your life has the struggle felt the realest? Like the angst, the motivation, whatever it may be, that you put the pin on that. But what's that point, and what did it look and feel like for you? And how'd you overcome it?
Yeah, I think that at one point in one of my position, we were stuck with a low staff situation. We would experience the same issues over and over again, which is to me the hardest thing to live with. Because when I have an issue, I fix it, or I try to put the stuff in order to fix it.
Right.
But I didn't have the people to sign off on them, so I got stuck in a position where I would work crazy hours, no life quality, couldn't see my wife for weeks entirely, and I would come home one day and she would cook me dinner, and she was so excited to see me, and she's like, oh, I did this today and did that, and so I literally fell asleep in my plate. And I was like so exhausted. I
Oh,
I looked
man.
sick. I was white. I lost so much weight, which
Right.
I couldn't afford back then.
Right.
And so my wife was just
In tears.
she was just bawling, but she
Right.
didn't want to make noise because she knew I would get upset by this.
Right.
And so she just kind of left the room, and she was crying and crying for hours, and I went straight to sleep because I wasn't able to handle myself.
Right.
And so I woke up at a nice 3:30 in the morning, you know, when there's no sun nearby,
Right.
to go to work at 4:30, and so my wife's still in the living room, and I look at her, I was like, "Are you all right?" And she just started crying, and I'm like, all right, we've
man.
got to do something about this situation. I was not happy about my job necessarily, but I was just pushing through, saying it's going to get better. It's going to get better.
There's a goal here.
But then my wife is the most important person in my life,
Right.
and she was no longer happy about it. And I
Right.
was like, all right, I think that this is really the breaking point. I need to do something about that. Whatever it costs, we have to get our life together.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you there. Yeah. And that's what happened next is
And then we kind of
kept doing the same thing until you hit another wall,
Well,
or
actually, I stayed on that job for I think maybe a couple more weeks after that.
okay.
Yeah, I just got
Which
into
is
an
not very
argument,
long.
like
Yeah.
a heated argument with one of my bosses.
You're like, this is all your fault.
Because when you get to the point where you have nothing to lose, you don't care about what you say. And I maybe
the
didn't
best.
like this would be in your folder you would keep against me in
Yeah,
your
that's
computer.
Yeah, this is the blackmail Mark
Yeah, exactly.
content right here.
Yeah.
But so it turned out that we decided maybe it wasn't good for me to work there no more.
Right.
And so I decided, all right, let's figure this out. We have our thing going on with our business on the side, which was still doing great. I mean, it's just that kind of thing that you're like, am I ready to put on the next gear, or we're just always
Right.
keep
Or do you
it
stay
on
in
back
this one? Yeah.
on the back burner?
Right.
And so we just said, let's jump to it.
Because it's
Let's-
scary. You don't know if it's going to work out.
in a different country.
Yeah. Well, there's that.
And
Yeah.
so my family is literally, if I want to see my folks, they have a 6-hour flight and 6-hour drive. So it's a full day to see my folks.
Wow.
And so
There's
obviously
no family outlet to provide relief or connection to,
Correct.
To your heart.
FaceTime still works,
Right,
You know,
yes.
and so we're lucky enough to have good friends here. So whenever something goes, not necessarily, it's not always perfect.
Right.
So you can always have a beer with them and say, hey, can we just hang out a little bit, just roll
Right.
off some steam or whatever. And so we knew we had the support of a few people that we cared, and so this was enough to keep us going.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm here all smiling and everything. So we had our rough days, we had
Right.
our rough patches where you just don't know no more if you did the right decision, right?
Yeah.
And
Amen.
we just keep on pushing and been a little lucky, hardworking, and I mean, we were ready for this, and we kind of raised up to the occasion. So, yeah, there's no magic formula. It just
So you mentioned it sounded like you have more clients than just desert folks coming to you with their businesses. Help me revamp my design. Help me develop my website. Where is your client base from?
yeah. So obviously, being from Montreal originally, so we still have some clients in the area over there.
Okay.
And word of mouth is a powerful drive in our business,
Right.
as
yeah.
you know. So
Amen.
it's all about that. So it's just people referring me
Amen.
to other businesses because they
Right.
say, these guys are cool, let's do
Right.
that.
And it doesn't matter where you're located, really.
Exactly.
He's got a
You're
really
just
cute
rolling out.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's so his dog's amazing.
His dog's amazing.
Give him a call.
Important things.
Yeah, just go back to the
Yeah.
basics, right?
That's right.
But yeah, we have some clients still in Europe that we have that pop out once in a while, and some on the East Coast, some on the West
Cool.
Coast. So just a little bit all over. It was a little more difficult when we got in California because we had to adjust with the time frame and the time schedule.
Oh, that's
So
right. 'Cause
that was kind
everyone's
of
way ahead of you.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have to
But
adjust
that's why
with
you stay
them.
up till 3. So you're like, ha, got you.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm up before you.
But then
Wait,
they
do
answer
this.
you and they have a thread of question, and you're like, oh, come on.
Right.
All right,
I'm
I'm
done. It's
sorry.
3 a.m. Yeah. Yeah. Again, the beauty of working for yourself is your own drive, even if you have to learn how to turn it off. So you touched on dog. Obviously, you have your Frenchie. How long have you had your little Frenchie?
I think 7 years now.
Really?
Yeah.
He still acts like a puppy, dude.
It is.
Yeah.
It is just
Yeah.
a big puppy.
What's his name?
Cleo.
Cleo. That's right. Yeah.
It's a big puppy. It's a big dummy, and
He's cuter than Cesare's dog.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Diva, cover your ears. You didn't hear that. She's in the
I'm
studio
just
with us
kidding.
right now, and
Oh,
she looked
dogs
up.
are-
She's like, "What'd you say, Mom?"
Yeah. She's
I will bite you.
smoking your cigarette.
Yeah,
that is
right,
no
she-
fun.
I do not know what you mean, but this is very good. Yes.
I'm just biased. I like those friendly dogs.
Well, I mean, if you have a bulldog once in your life, English or French bulldog, you are attracted to those animals for some reason.
They're so happy to
there's-
see you.
There's
no
so
matter
much
what.
personality.
Yeah.
You know everything that's going on in their faces every single moment.
Right.
Everybody says that about their dog, and obviously I'm biased because my dog is perfect in so many ways.
Right.
But
Spoken like a true dog owner.
but those bulldogs are just they get that extra layers of craziness to them. They're
They
just
do.
so silly
Yeah.
all the time. It makes me laugh all the time.
Yeah.
So it's just the best breed ever. And at first when I got her, I was like, this is the worst animal I've ever bought in my life. Like I looked at my goldfish, I was like, this is the best thing I've ever got.
Right.
And this thing is stupid. It just runs around, just bumps into walls.
Yeah.
It just makes so much noise. You don't have a
Right.
minute of silence in your home.
Constantly slobbering on
Thank you, sir.
everything. Yeah.
You will be tipped accordingly.
yeah. Getting some work.
He's like, except you forgot my lime, so.
Sorry about that.
But after that first few months where it was hell for us,
Right.
and
Oh my
we're still in Montreal, so it's minus so many degrees. It's ridiculous. There's this much snow.
Oh,
it's,
yeah,
it's awful in
potting is-
every single ways possible, and then you get the dog outside and put her in the snow where she disappears, and she's just that tiny little airless thing, and she's just cold and freezing, so she didn't want to go outside.
She's not gonna pee until she gets back inside. Yeah,
and so it was just hell for her. I mean, for us, it was just terrible every single day. But since we've been through that point, every time we see other dogs, like, these dogs are cool. I want Frenchie. I need another one.
Yeah.
It's like, the question is, how many Frenchie is too many Frenchies?
You just need we have a Frenchie, and I got a bulldog. And it's the same thing. My wife and I can be in a heated argument or just a serious conversation, and I'll be like giving her my full attention, and I'll see him out the window just walk by and do something hilarious and dumb and just like splat into something or just drag his big body into the swimming pool, and it's just like I'll just start grinning ear to ear, and she'll be like, what is oh, okay, all right, oh, you're entertained by your dog, okay, fine, just like, cool.
We weren't having a conversation that needed importance and purpose at all.
I'm good. Yeah.
But my funny thing that my dog does is, if we're working late and she goes to bed, whatever happens at midnight, she's exhausted. Well, she's been exhausted all day basically, because she woke up at one point, so she's exhausted.
It's a long day when you wake up.
And so she goes into her bed, and then if we're still working or making some noise in the kitchen, she would just come back and just off and puff like, and then turns around and goes back into bed, just like, what are you guys doing? It's late.
Knock it off.
Don't you know I'm trying to sleep here?
Yeah.
So it's just ridiculous. It just kills us every single day. It's like, oh, you're so the best.
That's the best. That's the best. And I have kids, and I still love my dog. It's like you can't not.
So much personality.
I like how you started that sentence. I have kids, but you just can't. Like, no. My
Like,
kids are great.
The kids are great.
But there's a certain part of my heart.
Yeah, right.
Sorry,
sorry.
Going back into your bank again.
I was in the hot tub last night, and Lumpy, my bulldog, just came, and he just put his head like right on top of my head and left it there. And I was like, how did you know I needed that right now? He just gave me a little lick, and I was like,
He's like, I got you.
I got your back. I'm grabbing you a bone. Is that for those toys Christina got you? So, yeah. Yeah, it's the best. It's the best. Well, that's awesome. So you just have the one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is plenty.
Yeah.
One bulldog is like a whole pack.
Right.
Just with the noise they make.
Right. I feel you. Well, that's good. And then when you look into like the future of what you want to do next, is it just to continue to grow your business at scale? Is it to get more quality contracts? Or what is it that's next for Frog Frenchie Design?
Yeah, this is the biggest battle that any human has. I mean, there's
True.
Cesare,
do you try to move away?
There's that battle where you say, I want to grow this thing to be the biggest thing, like to be the next big thing, and get so many employees and get the huge industrial warehouse that you do something awesome out of it, and you want to be the whole package, right? But then there's a part of you also saying, like, maybe I don't need to go that crazy. Maybe I can just make it, which is kind of the lazy guy, the lazy Mark, right? You know. And there's the other guy who's the other Mark who said, hey, you've been running like after your tail for the past couple of years. How about you take 1 week vacation? Let's start from there.
Let's start that.
I like that one. Yeah. That guy's a cool guy. So I like hanging out with him.
Too. I feel like he may be winning in the short period.
Yeah,
right.
He's got some good ideas.
Yeah, I feel him. I really feel him. But no, definitely. I mean, we all need to rest, and we all need to get our ideas together. And obviously, working like we do and like you guys do, I mean, working crazy hours, just making it and just looking forward for the next thing and always being excited about the new opportunity arising, I feel like at some point you need to push the brake a little bit and say, all right, I need to take some time for myself and for my family or whoever. I just need to get back to the basics, and then you feel so much energy after that.
That's true. That's where those new, like, you kind of sit back into what you've created, because when you're in the thick of it, it's hard to see.
Correct.
But when you sit back, you are able to create new desires for the level that you're at, and then you're like, okay, well, I could see myself going here, and that's peaceful and does allow for breaks with the family, but also allows for growth and scalable interest in what I'm doing. Or, there's the guy where you just turn it all off. You're just done. You're drinking. Vacation's on the couch, and you're just completely capped off, and that's not the best option at all.
It never is
at all.
Oh man, I was just hanging out with that guy for the past couple of weeks.
That's lazy Cesare.
I took that break and was like, man,
Cesare.
Michael hasn't called me for things lately, so I'm just gonna enjoy this little downtime where we don't have a bunch of stuff to do. But you're right, it's really easy to fall into those patterns. You have to choose which one you want, which version of you want to be, with that hustler.
It is, and sometimes you have to turn up, and that's why I love having a good friend in your life, or your wife, your partner, who can help you. You look at them, and you're like, am I working myself too much? They say, yeah, you're running yourself into the dirt, or you've been around a little too much. Just get going, and they can help you see the mark.
correct.
And do you get that out of your wife, or is it a little bit different since you guys run your business together?
It is definitely an adjustment. We've been doing that for a long time, and it's been airy at some points, definitely, because we have different mindsets. We have strong characters, both of us.
Right.
And
most definitely. And she's always right.
Well, 100%. I mean,
Okay.
even if she's not, she is for sure. I
Right.
mean, I'm never even fighting this.
You're a smart man.
There you
You're
go.
like, I'm going to get a beer. See ya.
But
Well, honey, it sounds like you have this under control. I'm gonna. I have no idea what that's like. You guys are over here talking marriage stuff, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh, Cesare, you got this.
Yo,
You
I got diva. I'm
bro.
good.
There you
Like,
go.
I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, diva for now.
It's true though. Having that in-house support though, especially in the business, is something
Right.
that it's. I couldn't always imagine man, if I had a girlfriend or a wife that was into the same thing that I'm doing, and we can share that creative spark, and I don't have to say or express anything. They just know what you're
Yeah.
going through and dealing with because they go through it too.
Right.
That type of support is really awesome. It's nice when you hear it and it's I really love what you're doing. I appreciate
Right.
it. You're doing great. That support is amazing. But when you don't even have to hear that, you just know because they know what you're going through.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
It takes time to cultivate that relationship, whether it's with a best friend or
Yeah.
a business partner or a wife or a life partner or your pet. It takes time to cultivate that relationship where they can look at you and you feel accountable. You're just like, oh, okay, I'm doing that thing again. All right, I got it.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'll knock it off.
I
I'll knock it
gotcha.
off. Yeah, exactly. So,
But coming back to what you were saying, it is a little difficult when the both partners are in the same field doing the exact same thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
because
And
then you
if-
have
it's like a
creative
dream
heads
come
kind
true,
of
there
but-
you
Yep.
go.
Yeah.
And then you just get into arguments for absolutely no reason. Luckily, we're complementary in the fact that she is purely an artist.
Beautiful.
And I'm more of the marketing person.
Yeah.
Right. So together, she would bring something to the table, and I was like, "This is gorgeous, darling, but let's bring it to the real people now, just a little bit."
So let's just tweak this and yep.
And she gets upset at that. At first, she was
Sure.
super upset, but then we've got this understanding, because I'm more business oriented than she is.
Yeah.
And she brings those crazy ideas. Sometimes I'm just going "Ooh, this is genius!
Yeah.
Like nobody else doing that." So,
Right.
yeah. So let's find a middle ground. And like you said
Yeah,
earlier,
blend the
she's
two.
right most of the time.
Right.
I'd like to say 100%, but it's on tape, so it is 100%. But
Yes, honey. Yes.
all right, so that's kind of everything I'm going to
110%.
sing
Yeah,
after that.
that's right.
Exactly.
We'll just cut. That's the end of that line.
But there's that small yeah.
There's the clap. Next clip. Yeah.
But no, we have this nice. I'm really lucky. We have this
Yeah.
really lovely relationship. We've been together for
Nice.
over 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's a learning curve.
Right.
There's nothing perfect. She's been patient with me, and so I have in the past. We're in a good place right now.
Yeah.
So we've worked for it, and together
Right,
we
man.
are a good team together. So I'm really lucky and grateful for this. This
And
is
you
something
see it and feel it when you come into the Prague Frenchie office, and you just, it's an air, and it's awesome, it's awesome to see, and I feel like it's got to help you capture business, that energy, because you can't not gravitate toward it. I know that Christina had an incredible time working with you guys, and I was like, wait a second, she was like, you need to call Mark, you need to call Mark and let him fix your shit, and I was like, what? No, I'm good, everything's working perfectly, I don't need any help. I was just like, well, maybe I'll call him for one conversation.
just a little bit.
Dearest Mark, I'm in trouble. Can you please help me? Yeah. So, no, you guys provide an awesome service, and it's been incredible. I think we met at Molly our mutual friend Molly. So we met. Molly put together a super secret group, and
That you're telling everyone
yeah,
about.
totally.
That's great.
She put together a super secret
This is
group
going
of
well.
people that she felt, I'm just playing, that she felt were like movers and shakers in behind the scenes. Restaurant owner, bar owner, real estate person. Even though she was a real estate agent, she was still invited me to be a part of that, and that's how I met you. And it was cool because we only met a couple of times, but it's all it needed to help do exactly what she intended to do, which was grow our brands a little bit, which was help cool people get to know each other and expand exponentially.
And I felt like we connected really easily, really fast.
Right.
I felt like we were on the same page from the first time we met, which was really, really fun to do.
Right. And I feel like that's the energy in the desert. I feel like it's easy to find that if you're willing to like be open to it, if you're willing to know that like if you have that vibration that people are cool, people are here to help, people are here to grow, and that like-minded creative individuals are out there. And that's been the cool thing is just continuing to dive in. I have grown my base through my last show that we did, the Palm Springs live stream, and it just took, I had people on that I didn't know, that I just saw and respected in the community, that allowed me to have them on, to get to know them a little better. Then there's that connection of like, oh my gosh, and then somehow you're friends by proxy, you're friends through that experience, because you are a little vulnerable coming on a show and just chatting about yourself for an hour and a half, even if no one views it, or there's 5 views or 600 views.
Let's talk about the things that are difficult in your life,
putting yourself out there.
Super vulnerable.
Exactly. Yeah, it's super vulnerable. Like, can I get a script? Like, no, it's just gonna be chatting about where you come from, and
on top of the fact that
Right.
guy is clipping stuff and
right,
holding us
he's holding back the juiciest parts.
Maybe shouldn't have told you about the blackmail
the exploit
folder
Michael folder I saw on his desktop one time. It's like, well, what's in there? Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just all your blooper rolls.
Should have been worried the whole time.
Yeah.
Well,
You've seen my blooper rolls.
It's mostly just like work security, like it's job security for me. So it's like he has to continue doing videos and stuff with me. Otherwise,
Michael,
it's
I
just
haven't
like
heard from you for videos in a while.
I'm gonna release a video of that one thing you said that one time at that one house. And he's like, no, which one?
Yeah, which one?
I'm like,
I have no filter ever. This is awful. Please don't take me out of context.
Yeah.
Even in context, it sounds bad. No, I'm playing.
We'll get back to that later.
Yeah. Speaking of context.
No, but it's all good. When you see yourself 10 years from now, do you have any pin dropped on what that looks like? Do you taking more vacations, or you're working from Guadalajara? Like what is that 10-year plan? And do you dare even look that far into the future?
To be honest, I haven't looked that far into my future.
Okay.
I mean, I had a plan, I would say probably for a 5-year plan.
Okay.
More of, since when I came here and I got all my things started, putting some money aside, getting all the things ready, renovating my office, getting some leads, working in the city,
Right.
So, I mean, I've been working on more short-term type of scale.
Okay.
Because it made more sense to me. Obviously, like anybody else who's a freelancer, I want to be successful.
Right.
And obviously, my goal is to be successful. I have my personal objectives.
Right.
If I'm going for them, obviously, and that is making sure that I can grow my team substantially, where I can be a bigger player in the desert. To
Right.
have something bigger than what I got right now. That I have full support of all the things I said earlier in the 10-year scale. I'd like to have, like I said earlier,
Right.
an amazing industrial lot,
Yes.
literally with just 20 feet ceiling and just the printers over there, and I got my designers on one side, my web guys on the other side, and my video guys on that side, and just getting all those creative juices flowing all together,
Right.
and get to do something crazy, something just to gather all those artists that we have here scattered all over the desert, and even still a few from the other cities.
Yeah, talented people floating around, not knowing where to drop root.
Correct.
And I feel like that's where like an industry leader or someone that just has to change the game has to come in first and just do it and create that base so that others can come in and grow from that point with them.
And so, obviously, what's cool about Palm Springs is there's a lot of people who decided to put their roots here.
Right,
And
that
it's
are
just people from
well-traveled.
all over the world,
Yeah.
well-traveled people, and you just go to a bar and talk with people, and then
Right.
you hear so many stories. Like it's never boring.
Yeah.
It is always something crazy.
It's true. It's never boring.
It is, and and I feel like being lucky enough to be from the East Coast, where it's so different. The
Yeah.
East Coast, the Upper East Coast. I mean, it's a different world.
Right.
It's the same on the same plane, but I mean, it's so different.
Right.
And so having that perspective and working with Europeans also, it just brings different layers that I can bring to the table that people are not necessarily used to if you're native from here.
Right.
Even if you're well-traveled, I mean, if you haven't worked with people from different places, you get this sense of working differently with those people and adapting accordingly, which is something I've been luckily enough being able to own over the year. So this is something cool that I've got. So
Awesome. So favorite bar is in the Parker. Favorite restaurant in in the desert area?
ooh, that's a good question. I kind of like the venue in
Okay.
Palm Desert, the sushi place.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's the same chef who does the sandfish down in Palm Springs.
Okay.
So it's in. Yeah, she's happy about it. She's super excited.
That's the spot.
So
Okay.
it's the venue. I mean, it's probably closer to my home, so that's probably the reason why I went there a little more often.
Right.
It's just on El Paseo when you get there, on the right side, just when you get there. They have a fantastic selection of sushis.
Okay.
Everything is super fresh, and they don't go with the tempura as much as you would imagine, like sushi places do now. They just stuff it with
Right.
all those breadcrumbs in there
Right.
just to make it tasty. Now they actually play with herbs and sprouts and such, and they really build something really tasty out of this. So like that's kind of my treat once in a while.
Okay, that's
or
cool.
Mr. Lion. I
Mr.
mean,
Lyons, yeah.
Just for the ambience itself.
Right. It's dark in there. You slide in, you grab yourself like a nice cheese plate or a burger. I'm sure it's right down the street from your office.
It is.
Yeah, so.
You can just sit in the bar area.
Right.
And it's phenomenal. And you can have that fantastic roast beef.
Right.
And you're just happy. You regret it every time because you take the too much a bigger size that you needed.
Right.
But the pup is always happy when you come home. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, you've been to Mr. Lion. I can
Yeah.
smell it.
Hey, don't hold out on me, Dad.
Hey, bud, can
Yeah.
I get some
Yeah. Hey.
into this?
About that finger grease. Let me.
Yeah, hey, hey.
You can come over here.
Yeah, okay. Smell your pant leg? Yep.
So
uh-huh.
remember today when you took that ball away from me? So how about you pay back for me?
Yeah,
How
exactly.
about some steak? That'd be awesome.
Right.
We'll be even.
You don't take him with you?
The pup?
No.
Nah.
Nah. Very nice. And then as far as favorite form of communication, phone call, email, or text? Or
Text.
DM?
Text, 100%.
Text, 100%?
Yep.
And when texting, do you have a favorite emoji?
I would say probably the smiley face, like just laughing
The
out loud.
genuine,
It's like
the sideways.
The tilted crying smiley face.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
yes.
That's-
I feel
that
like this
one.
is like, accurate for most of my texts I'm sending to my friends.
Right. You're like, this is hilarious and also slightly uncomfortable.
Nick, if we could just add that emoji on top of his face for the rest of this part of the show, that would be great.
Especially when I'm stroking my nipple.
Yeah, it's just it's just floating over your head. And Mark's officially an emoji now.
And I just ruined 2 cameras at one shot.
That's it. They're like, we can't.
Oh no,
edit
that's
that out.
staying.
Yeah, they'll just put. They're gonna put the flat smiley face crying right there. Oof.
Or just a video cover, you know?
Yeah.
Perfect. The spinning wheel of
Yeah.
well, Mac, if it's your Mac, the rainbow
Yeah.
wheel of
Yeah.
death. Yeah.
Well, when you're chopping this up for my Facebook page, you can throw this slice in there and just make sure, like the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, this is going to be fun for you when you re-sample it. Do you
Yeah.
Are you ever in like your own productions for work that you're working on for clients?
Yeah. Mostly I will help with the cutting and editing with that so we can actually look it up.
But you're in them as well?
yeah,
Nice.
sometimes.
Sometimes.
I don't like my face so much, so I'd like to have other
So the
people
more
face in
Why
there.
cutting
don't,
and
why don't you
editing of
hold on?
me.
Why don't you like your face?
I don't know. There's too much of a big smile going on there.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever. I don't like my face.
I always just let people know, like, I'm the guy with the big forehead. I'll be standing out front. I'll be on time. Okay.
Not liking your face because you have too big of a smile is just unacceptable in my
Right.
opinion.
I apologize.
That's
Yeah.
no.
It-
It's okay.
gift.
But if you can
gift to
fix
the
it,
world.
that would be great.
It's
It's
a
just
gift to the
easier to be judging people on the outside than being judged on the inside. I mean,
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you.
But
That's-
most of the time, if you got a big smile on your face, like if people are judging you, I mean, most of the time, depending
makes
on
them
the
go away.
smile, it's most of the time
It's
going
like
to be a
hater
good thing.
off.
Yeah.
Like, okay, there we go. It's just like ding.
There's
like
a product idea. Hater off.
Hater off. I'm sure that's been rolled out there
Sure.
at some point. Yeah.
Hater repellent. Hater be gone.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like a Saturday Night
I feel like
Live
anything
prop.
you sprint to somebody's face, they're gonna be gone anyway.
Right, they're gonna go away.
You could just be like CK cologne.
yeah, right. Huh.
Axe body spray.
Yeah.
That gets. Well, no, most haters wear Axe. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, did we
Whoa,
connect
okay,
two things
hey,
together?
yeah, well, someone's literally at home listening to this, like, shh. Hey, I hate this show.
They're like, "What are you talking about?" 1 star.
Oh man, Mark, thank you so much for coming on. A little product plug. So you're Mark with Frenchie Design. You're based out of Palm Springs. You've been here 4 years. Appreciate you coming on the show. The struggle is really, really, really real. And I'm Michael Slate with the Paul Kaplan Group. Super happy. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
I
It's
appreciate
so much
it.
fun.
All right, Cesare, thank you so much.
Yeah, man, this was a good one.
Yeah, it was good.
Well, I mean, we only have done last week with me, so comparatively speaking, this was a really good one.
It feels great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. It's onward and upward.
Yep.
Thank you for saying that before editing it off. It's
Yeah.
perfect. I feel
really
better
good-
now. It's really
Yeah,
good.
and when he watches the 3rd episode, he's like, "Wait a second, they said it again." It was like, "This show, I'm never going back on there."
Well, at
again.
least they're
How come this show
consistent.
lasts only 1 minute? It's been there for an hour and a half.
Wow, they really trimmed down this episode. It's crap.
What is Diva doing in all those screenshots?
When you can't figure out what to do, just cut to my dog. It's fine.
That's it.
Are there any social handles that you would want people to find you at? I mean, we have your Instagram, your website. Do you want us to put that up? Tell people who are listening that can't see where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, so my handles are super easy, Frog Frenchie. It's kind of a no-brainer to find them because there's nobody else doing that. And the website is frogfrenchie.com.
Frogfrenchie.com. Nice.
I like it. All right, perfect. So Frog Frenchie on Facebook, Frog Frenchie on Instagram, frogfrenchie.com on the web. Do you have a YouTube channel?
I do not.
Oh, do you want to start one?
Is that work?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's totally work. Yeah,
actually.
but you could just live stream you
It's
guys.
okay. I know a
working.
graphic designer. He's really good.
If you can connect me, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. I'll DM him right. No, wait, now I'll text him right now. He likes texts more than.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I'd like to do a big shout out on a real estate agent I've met recently. He's so awesome. It's you. I'm so sorry.
What was his
I
name?
don't
Josh
remember-
Josh
his name.
Silva. Is
Yeah,
that what
sure.
his-
Cylinder.
Get out of here. Awesome.
I feel you.
Good show, guys. Thanks for joining us, you guys. And scene.